"You're too sensitive," my mom said. When I called out my sister for defending my cheating ex, who she's now business partners with. Sensitive people don't fund $340,000 startups. I withdrew my investment. They're both broke and unemployed. All right, Reddit, buckle up because this one's a doozy. I 34 male and I just torpedoed my sister's business so hard that she and my cheating ex are now both unemployed and broke. And honestly, I've never slept better in my life. Before I get into the nuclear level revenge, you need the backstory. Because none of this makes sense without understanding just how screwed up my family dynamics have always been. My sister Madison is 3 years younger than me. She's 31, and she's been skating through life on charm and manipulation since we were kids. While I was pulling all-nighters studying computer science and working part-time at Best Buy's Geek Squad, she was majoring in communications. Basically the degree you get when you don't know what you want to do, but like talking to people. Graduated with a 2.7 GPA after our parents paid full tuition at a private school, because she needed the smaller class sizes to thrive. The favoritism wasn't even subtle. When I graduated high school with a 3.9 GPA and got accepted to UT Austin with a partial scholarship, my parents took me to Olive Garden. Breadsticks and congratulations. Now get to work on filling out those loan applications. When Madison graduated with a 2.4 GPA and got into some private liberal arts college, they threw her a massive party at a country club, invited 80 people, and Dad gave this whole speech about how proud he was of his creative, artistic daughter who marches to her own drum. I was sitting there thinking, I literally have a full scholarship to one of the best engineering programs in the state, but sure, let's celebrate Madison's ability to write a coherent essay about her feelings. Throughout college, I worked. Every summer, I had internships. Nights and weekends, I worked at the campus IT help desk. I graduated with $35,000 in student loans that I paid off in 3 years by living in a shitty apartment with 2 roommates and eating rice and beans 4 nights a week. Madison graduated with 0 debt because our parents paid everything. Her summer breaks were spent finding herself in Europe or doing unpaid internships at art galleries in New York while our parents funded her lifestyle. After college, she bounced between startup jobs and marketing, never staying anywhere longer than 8 months before deciding the culture wasn't aligned with her values or whatever excuse she'd give. Our parents always made excuses. She's still figuring things out. Not everyone's path is the same. She's going through a rough transition period. Yeah, a transition period that lasted 8 years while I was building my career and actually contributing to society. Then I met Vanessa. She was 32, working as a project manager at a consulting firm. We met at a tech conference in Denver where she was managing the event logistics. She was smart, beautiful, driven, and actually had her shit together. We clicked immediately, started dating, and within 6 months I knew she was the one. She had her own career, her own money, her own life, didn't need me to take care of her. We were partners. She'd cook dinner while I worked late on deployments. I'd handle the finances and investments while she managed our social calendar. It worked. We got engaged after 2 years. I proposed at the same restaurant where we had our first date. Nothing flashy or Instagram-worthy, just us. She said yes before I even finished the question. Best day of my life at that point? My family's reaction was underwhelming. Mom said, "That's wonderful, honey," in the same tone she'd use if I told her I bought new socks. Dad asked if we'd set a date yet, then immediately pivoted to talking about Madison's latest job prospect. Madison herself barely looked up from her phone when I told her, just gave me a cool, congrats, and went back to scrolling Instagram. But Vanessa didn't care about their reaction. She had me, I had her, and that was enough. We started planning a wedding, nothing crazy, about 100 people, nice venue, good food. I was handling most of the costs because I made more than Vanessa, and I didn't mind. This was our day. Madison, predictably, found ways to make it about her. During the engagement party my parents threw for us, which they organized only after Vanessa's parents offered to host one, Madison spent the entire evening talking about her latest entrepreneurial venture to anyone who would listen. Some idea about sustainable fashion or ethical consumption or some bullshit. My mom kept redirecting conversations to Madison's ideas. Oh, you're talking about wedding venues. You know, Madison has such a good eye for design. Madison, tell them about that gallery space you found. Vanessa was a saint about it. She'd smile politely and nod, but I could see the tightness around her eyes. Later that night in the car, she said, "Your family really loves your sister, huh?" "They've always been like this," I told her. "Just how they are." "It's not normal," she said quietly. She was right, but I'd normalized it for so long that I couldn't see how messed up it actually was. The cheating started about 4 months before our wedding. I didn't know it at the time, obviously. Vanessa was working late a lot, which wasn't unusual. She was up for a promotion. But looking back, all the signs were there. The phone that suddenly needed a passcode, the new lingerie I never saw her wear, the way she'd panic if I picked up her phone to change the music in the car. I found out by accident 2 weeks before the wedding. I was at home working from my office when my Apple Watch buzzed with a text notification from Vanessa's phone. She'd left it on the kitchen counter. The preview showed, "Can't wait to see you tonight," with a heart emoji from some guy named Derek. My stomach dropped. I told myself there was a logical explanation. Derek could be a colleague. The heart emoji could be accidental. But I unlocked her phone. Password was our anniversary date, same as always, and found 6 months of texts. 6 months. Derek was this CrossFit instructor she'd met at the gym. The texts were detailed, explicit, plans to meet up, complaints about how I was always working late, how she felt disconnected from me, how Derek understood her needs. There were photos, videos, entire conversations about how she was going to break up with me after the wedding because her parents had already spent money on it and she didn't want to hurt them, didn't want to hurt her parents. Not me, her parents. I sat in my office for 3 hours just scrolling through everything, documenting it all, screenshots of every conversation, every photo, every plan they'd made. Sent them all to my personal email. Then I called her. "Hey babe, what's up?" She answered all casual, like everything was fine. "Who's Derek?" I asked. Silence, long, heavy silence. "I can explain," she said finally. "Don't bother. I've read everything. 6 months, Vanessa. 6 months of lying to my face while planning our wedding." She started crying, told me it was a mistake. She loved me. Derek meant nothing. She was confused and stressed about the wedding. All the classic cheater excuses. I told her to come get her stuff from my house. She had 48 hours. Then I started canceling wedding plans. The venue gave me half my deposit back. The caterer kept the whole deposit. The photographer was cool about it and refunded everything since we'd been honest about the situation. All told, I was out about $15,000. Could have been worse, but it still sucked. Then I had to tell my family. My parents' response was typical. Mom said, "Oh, honey, I'm so sorry." But there was something off about her tone, like she wasn't actually surprised or upset, just going through the motions. Madison's response was what really got me. She called me the day after I told everyone about the breakup. "Hey, I heard about you and Vanessa." "That sucks." "Yeah," I said, not really wanting to talk about it. "Can I ask you something, though? Like, not trying to be mean, but did you ever think maybe you pushed her away?" I actually pulled the phone away from my ear and stared at it. "Excuse me? I mean, you work like all the time. You're always on your laptop or dealing with work stuff. Maybe she felt neglected. Maybe she needed more attention and you weren't giving it to her." "Madison, she was fucking her CrossFit instructor for 6 months while I was planning our wedding. This isn't about me not giving her enough attention. I'm just saying, relationships take work from both people. Maybe if you'd been more present." I hung up on her. But that was just the beginning of Madison's bullshit. A few weeks later, Vanessa called me. We hadn't spoken since she picked up her stuff from my place, and I wanted to keep it that way. But she left a voicemail asking if we could meet up to talk. Said she wanted to clear the air and end things on better terms. I deleted it without responding. Then Madison texted me. "Vanessa reached out to me. She really wants to apologize properly. I think you should hear her out." "Why is my cheating ex contacting my sister?" I texted back. "We've been talking. She's really broken up about everything. She made a huge mistake and she knows it. Just give her a chance to explain." I called Madison immediately. "Why the hell are you talking to Vanessa?" "Because she needed someone to talk to," Madison said defensively. "She's going through a really hard time right now." "She's going through a hard time?" "I was about to marry her." "Yeah, and she feels terrible about it. She's in therapy now trying to work through her issues. The least you could do is listen to her." "No, I'm done. And you need to stop talking to her. I'm an adult. I can talk to whoever I want." That should have been my first warning sign. Over the next few months, I threw myself into work. Got promoted to senior architect, started leading a team of 12 developers, negotiated a $40,000 raise, bought myself a new mountain bike, and started training for a century ride. Basically did everything I could to not think about the failed relationship. Meanwhile, Madison and Vanessa apparently became best friends. I started seeing them together on social media. Coffee dates, brunch, workout classes. Madison even posted this long thing about supporting women through difficult times and not taking sides in breakups with a selfie of her and Vanessa looking all happy. My mom called me about it. "I saw Madison and Vanessa are spending time together." That's nice that Madison's being so mature about everything. Mature? Mom, Vanessa cheated on me. I know, honey, but Madison's just trying to be a good person. She doesn't want to abandon someone who's struggling. What about me? I'm the one who got cheated on. You're fine, though. You have your career and your house. Vanessa's really going through it right now. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. You're more concerned about my cheating ex than your own son? That's not fair. I care about you. But you're strong. You always land on your feet. Vanessa needs support right now. I got off the phone before I said something I'd regret. Fast forward 6 months. I'm fully over Vanessa at this point. Started dating a woman named Rachel who's a data scientist. Smart, funny, no drama. Everything was going great. Then Madison called with news. She was starting a business with a partner, and they needed investors. Some marketing consultancy specializing in social media strategy for sustainable brands. Whatever that meant. We've got a solid business plan, she said. We're targeting eco-conscious millennials and Gen Z consumers who want to align their purchasing with their values. We already have 3 clients lined up, and we're projecting $200,000 in revenue in the first year. I was skeptical. What's your background in this? I've been working in marketing for 8 years, she said, which was technically true if you counted all her various 2-month stints at different companies. And my partner has a lot of experience in brand strategy. Who's your partner? There was a pause. A very telling pause. It's Vanessa. I actually laughed. You're joking. I'm not. Look, I know you two have history, but she's really good at this stuff. She has connections in the consulting world, and I have the creative vision. We complement each other perfectly. You're starting a business with my cheating ex-fiancé. She's not your ex-fiancé anymore. She's my business partner. You need to move on. I have moved on. I'm dating someone new. But that doesn't mean I want my sister going into business with someone who betrayed me. This isn't about you, Madison said. This is about my future, my career. You can't control who I work with. I'm not trying to control anything. I'm just saying it's incredibly disrespectful. Well, I'm doing it anyway. I actually called to see if you wanted to invest. We're looking for $300,000 in startup capital. You'd get 20% equity, and we're confident we can provide a return within 3 years. I was stunned. You want me to invest in a company you're running with Vanessa? It's a good opportunity. The market for ethical marketing is huge right now. We've done the research, we have the expertise, and we just need the capital to get started. No, you didn't even think about it. I don't need to think about it. The answer is no. I'm not funding a business that includes someone who destroyed my trust. God, you're so petty. This was 2 years ago. Get over it. I am over it. But I'm not giving you and my cheating ex $300K. She hung up on me. 10 minutes later, my mom called. Madison told me about the business opportunity. I think you should reconsider. Mom, she wants to go into business with Vanessa. I know, but Madison's really passionate about this. She's found something she truly believes in, and I think you should support your sister. By giving her $300,000 to start a company with my ex who cheated on me? You're being very dramatic about this. What happened with Vanessa was unfortunate, but Madison shouldn't have to give up a good business opportunity because of your past relationship. It's not just a past relationship. She cheated on me for 6 months while we were planning our wedding, and that was wrong of her. But people make mistakes. You're a smart, successful man with a great career. Vanessa's just trying to rebuild her life. Can't you be the bigger person here? The bigger person? I'm supposed to finance her new life after she destroyed our relationship? You're being very selfish about this. This isn't about Vanessa. This is about Madison. Your sister needs your help, and you're letting old grudges get in the way. I hung up on her too, but they didn't give up. Over the next 2 weeks, I got calls and texts from Madison almost daily. The pitch got more refined each time. They'd signed 2 more clients. They had projections showing profitability by month 8. They'd found office space. All they needed was the capital. Dad called too. Said I should think about the family and how much this meant to Madison, that I'd be helping launch her career and setting her up for success. No mention of the fact that I'd be enriching the woman who'd betrayed me. Rachel noticed I was stressed. I told her about the situation, and she was as baffled as I was. They want you to fund a business with your ex who cheated on you? Yep. And your family thinks this is reasonable? Apparently, I'm being petty and dramatic for not wanting to. That's insane. You know that, right? This whole situation is completely insane. It was validating to hear someone outside my family confirm what I already knew. Then came Thanksgiving. My family does this big dinner every year at my parents' house. I almost skipped it, but Rachel encouraged me to go. Said avoiding family gatherings wasn't healthy. Big mistake. Vanessa was there, sitting at my parents' dining table like she belonged there, like she hadn't destroyed my life 2 years earlier. I stopped in the doorway. What is she doing here? Madison looked up from her phone. I invited her. She's my business partner now, and business partners are family. She's not family, and you didn't think to mention you were bringing her? Mom came out of the kitchen. Oh, good. You're here. Everyone's sitting down. Vanessa, honey, that seat next to Madison is for you. Vanessa gave me this apologetic look, like she was being forced into this situation against her will, but she sat down anyway. I looked at Rachel. She looked at me. We both knew we should leave. But before I could say anything, Dad came in with the turkey. Great. Everyone's here. Let's eat. The dinner was excruciating. Madison and Vanessa kept talking about their business plans. Mom and Dad kept asking them questions and acting fascinated by their answers. No one asked me about work, about Rachel, about anything in my life. At one point, Madison said, "We're actually getting close to securing our funding. We have a few investors interested." I knew what was coming. "We were really hoping our first investor would be family," Vanessa said, looking right at me. "It would mean a lot to have someone we trust as a stakeholder." Someone you trust? I couldn't help myself. That's rich coming from someone who spent 6 months lying to my face. The table went silent. That's not appropriate dinner conversation, Mom said. What's not appropriate is inviting my cheating ex to Thanksgiving without telling me. She's Madison's business partner, Dad said. She has every right to be here. No, she doesn't. This is a family dinner. She's not family. You need to let go of this anger, Mom said. Vanessa made a mistake. It's been 2 years. You've moved on. Why can't you be mature about this? Mature? You want me to be mature while you prioritize my ex over me? Madison jumped in. No one's prioritizing anyone. You're just being too sensitive about this. It's not even about you anymore. This is about my business, my future, and you're making it about your feelings. Too sensitive. Those words hung in the air. Rachel stood up. We're leaving. Rachel, wait, Mom started. No, I'm not sitting here while you people gaslight him. This whole situation is messed up, and the fact that none of you can see that is honestly disturbing. We left. I didn't say another word to any of them. In the car, Rachel said, Your family is toxic. I know. Like, really toxic. That was one of the worst things I've ever witnessed. I know. What are you going to do? I thought about it for a long time. I need to cut them off. I support whatever you decide, but just know, you don't owe them anything. The next morning, I woke up to a text from Madison. You really embarrassed me last night. Vanessa felt so uncomfortable. You need to apologize. I need to apologize. To Vanessa. For being upset that she was at my family's Thanksgiving after cheating on me. That's when something in me just snapped. I called Madison. How much do you need for your business? She was surprised. What? How much do you need? Give me the exact number. We're looking for $300K like I said. But we could probably make it work with $250,000 if we... I'll give you $340,000. Silence. Are you serious? Dead serious. But I have conditions. I want 35% equity, voting rights on major decisions, and a seat on the board if you create one. I also want quarterly financial reports and approval rights on any expenses over $10,000. That's more than fair. Wait, why the extra 40K? Operating capital. You're going to need it. Get your lawyer to draw up the papers. I want everything official. Oh my God. Thank you so much. I can't believe you're doing this. Don't thank me yet. This is business. Get me the paperwork. She got me the paperwork. Everything was official. Investment agreement, equity stake, the whole thing. I had my own lawyer review it to make sure I had the rights I wanted. I transferred $340,000 to their business account on a Monday morning. By Monday afternoon, they'd signed a lease on office space, hired 2 employees, and bought about $20,000 worth of furniture and equipment. Madison posted about it on LinkedIn. Excited to announce that we've secured our first major investment and are officially launching our agency. Thank you to everyone who believed in us. Special shout out to my brother for supporting me in making my dreams a reality. The comments were full of congratulations. Vanessa posted too, with some bullshit about when one door closes, another opens, and grateful for new beginnings. I waited 2 weeks. Let them get comfortable. Let them hire 3 more employees, sign 2 more clients, commit to vendor contracts. Then I pulled every single penny out. My investment agreement included a clause that allowed me to withdraw my funding at any time in the first 90 days if I wasn't satisfied with how the business was being run. My lawyer had suggested it as protection, and I'd insisted on it. On a Wednesday morning, I sent an email to both of them and their lawyer. Subject line: Notice of investment withdrawal, effective immediately. Per Section 7.3 of our investment agreement, I am exercising my right to withdraw my funding. All capital invested, $340,000, is to be returned to my account within 72 hours as stipulated in the contract. Failure to comply will result in legal action. This decision is final and non-negotiable. Madison called me 30 seconds after I sent it. I didn't answer. Vanessa called. Didn't answer. My mom called. Didn't answer. The emails started pouring in. Madison, please call me. We can work this out. Vanessa, this is going to destroy us. You can't do this. Mom, how could you do this to your sister? I didn't respond to any of them. Here's the thing. They couldn't return the money. They'd already spent $280,000 of it. Office lease, equipment, salaries, vendor contracts, marketing materials. All money they couldn't get back. They had 72 hours to come up with $340,000 or face legal action. They didn't have it. The business bank account had maybe $60,000 left after all their spending spree. Madison called from a different number. I answered this time. You're destroying my life, she said immediately. Why are you doing this? Because you chose her over me. You all did. And you called me too sensitive for having feelings about it. This isn't about Vanessa. This is about my business, my career, your business with my cheating ex, who you invited to Thanksgiving, who you've been defending and supporting while treating me like I'm the problem. I never treated you like... Mom said I need to let go of my anger. Dad said I should think about family. You said I was being too sensitive. None of you gave a shit about how any of this made me feel. So yeah, I'm withdrawing my investment. We can't pay you back. We don't have the money. Sounds like a you problem. You're going to force us into bankruptcy over your hurt feelings? No, I'm enforcing a contract that you signed. You spent money you couldn't afford to spend without ensuring you could pay it back if needed. That's not my fault. Please, I'm begging you, don't do this. You should have thought about that before you made Vanessa more important than your own brother. I hung up. My lawyer sent them a formal demand letter when they didn't return the money within 72 hours. They tried to negotiate, offering to pay back $60,000 immediately and the rest in installments. I refused. Contract said 72 hours, and I wanted compliance. They couldn't comply. I filed a lawsuit for the full amount, plus legal fees and damages. Their business account was frozen pending the lawsuit. They couldn't pay their employees, couldn't pay vendors, couldn't pay rent. The business collapsed within 2 weeks. The employees quit. The clients left. The lease was broken, costing them another $30,000 in penalties. Vanessa had to move back in with her parents in Oklahoma. Madison moved back in with our parents, both of them unemployed with damaged reputations in the industry. My parents tried one last guilt trip, called me together on speakerphone. You've destroyed your sister's life, Mom said. You've destroyed this family, Dad added. I didn't destroy anything, I said calmly. I made a business decision. Madison wanted to be treated like a businesswoman? Well, in business, you honor your contracts. They couldn't honor the contract, so there were consequences. Over Vanessa? Mom said. You did all this because you're still hung up on her? No, I did this because for 2 years, all of you made it clear that my feelings don't matter, that I should just get over being betrayed and humiliated, that I'm too sensitive for being hurt, that my sister chose my cheating ex as a business partner. You wanted me to fund that disrespect. I funded it all right. Then I took it back. You're vindictive and cruel, Dad said. I'm successful and self-sufficient, which is more than I can say for Madison or Vanessa. They wanted to build something on my money while treating me like garbage? They can build it on someone else's money now. I hung up, blocked all of their numbers. Rachel was waiting for me when I got off the phone. How do you feel? Honestly, pretty good. No regrets? None. Good. They deserved it. She was right. They did deserve it. Last I heard through mutual friends, Madison was working retail and living in our parents' basement. Vanessa's working as an administrative assistant somewhere in Oklahoma. Both of them are broke, unemployed in their actual fields, and dealing with the fallout of bad business decisions. My parents tried to sue me to get the money back to give to Madison, but their lawyer told them they had no case. The contract was clear, I was within my rights, and Madison and Vanessa's inability to return the funds was their own fault. I'm doing great. Got another promotion at work, now making $280,000. Rachel and I are getting serious. She moved in last month and we're talking about marriage. My house is paid off. My investments are growing. Life is good. Sometimes people tell me I went too far, that I should have just walked away instead of destroying their business. But here's the thing. They made every choice that led them to that point. They chose to partner up. They chose to ask me for money. They chose to spend it immediately. They chose to make me feel like shit for having boundaries. I just exercised a contractual right that they agreed to. If they couldn't afford the terms, they shouldn't have signed the contract. Being called too sensitive was the final straw. My whole life, I've been the responsible one, the successful one, the one who has his shit together. And my reward was being treated like my feelings didn't matter because I could handle it. Well, I handled it, just not the way they wanted. Madison sent me one final email last month. Subject line, I hope you're happy. The email said, you destroyed my life because you couldn't get over your ex. I lost everything. My business, my reputation, my future. All because you're too immature to move past a breakup from years ago. I hope the revenge was worth it because you've lost your family forever. I replied with, I didn't destroy your life. You destroyed it when you valued a business partnership with my cheating ex more than your relationship with your brother. The business failing was just a consequence of that choice. Maybe next time you'll think about who you're willing to screw over for a business opportunity. She didn't reply. Mom left me a voicemail last week. Your father's birthday is coming up. It would mean a lot if you came. Madison will be there. Maybe you two can finally work things out. I deleted it without listening to the whole thing. Rachel asked me if I'd ever reconcile with them. I thought about it for a while. Maybe someday, I said, but not until they acknowledge what they did wrong. Not until they apologize for how they treated me. Not until they understand that you can't prioritize someone who hurt your family member over the family member themselves. Oh, what if they never do that? Then I guess we won't reconcile. She nodded. I support whatever you decide. But just so you know, my family thinks you're great. My mom already calls you her son-in-law. That made me smile. Maybe blood doesn't determine family. Maybe family is the people who actually give a damn about your feelings. Madison and Vanessa wanted to build an empire on my money, while treating me like I was too sensitive for having boundaries. Sensitive people don't make $280,000 a year. Sensitive people don't have $800,000 in investments. And sensitive people definitely don't fund 340,000 startups for people who don't respect them. They learned that the hard way. And honestly, I'm good with that. Some people might think I'm an asshole for what I did. That's fine. But I sleep well at night knowing I didn't let people who treated me like garbage profit from my success. I set a boundary, a big, expensive, legally binding boundary, and I enforced it. My parents call that cruel. I call it having self-respect. And you know what? If having self-respect means my sister's broke and my ex-fiancé is living with her parents in Oklahoma, then so be it. They made their choices. I made mine. The difference is, I can actually afford my choices. Update. Hey Reddit, it's been 6 months since my last post and a lot has happened. Figured I'd give you an update since people keep DMing me asking how things turned out. Madison and Vanessa's business is officially dead. Not just struggling, completely dead. Filed for bankruptcy 3 months ago. The business name got sold to pay creditors for about $12,000, which I'm sure went straight to their lawyers. Neither of them has any equity, any reputation, or any prospects in their field. Madison's still living with my parents and working at Nordstrom in the mall. Full-time retail associate, making maybe $35,000 a year. From what I hear through the grapevine, she's bitter as hell about it. Can't really blame her. Going from entrepreneur with VC funding to, hey, can I help you find your size? Is quite the fall. Vanessa disappeared for a while. Then last month, I got a LinkedIn message from her. Not a connection request, just a message. It said, I know you don't want to hear from me, but I wanted you to know that I understand now why you did what you did. Losing everything made me realize how much I took for granted and how many people I hurt. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just wanted to say I get it now. I'm sorry for everything. I didn't respond. Blocked her on LinkedIn. My parents have tried a few times to get me to come to family events. Dad's birthday, Christmas, Easter. I declined every time. Mom sent me this long email about how I'm tearing the family apart and how Madison is struggling with depression because of what I did. My response was simple. Madison's depression is not my responsibility. She made choices that led to consequences. If she's struggling, she should talk to a therapist, not expect me to bail her out emotionally or financially. Rachel and I got engaged last month. I proposed at her favorite restaurant, nothing crazy or Instagram-worthy, just us and a ring I spent 3 months designing with a jeweler. She said yes before I even finished the question. Best day of my life. I didn't tell my family. They found out through social media when Rachel posted about it. Mom called me crying. You're getting engaged and you didn't even tell us? We're your family. You sided with my cheating ex over me. You expected me to fund her business with Madison. You called me too sensitive for having boundaries. That's not what family does. But we're your parents, and I'm your son. But that didn't seem to matter when you were more concerned about Vanessa's feelings than mine. She hung up. Dad called next. The conversation was shorter. You're really not going to let this go? Not until you acknowledge what you did wrong. We didn't do anything wrong. We were trying to support both you and Madison. You weren't supporting me. You were dismissing me. There's a difference. You've become a very hard person. No, I've become a person with boundaries. You just don't like it. He hung up too. The wedding is in 4 months. Small ceremony, close friends, Rachel's family. None of my blood relatives are invited. Some people might think that's sad, but honestly, I'm relieved. Rachel's family has been incredible. Her dad and I go fishing on weekends. Her mom sends me recipes and asks about my work. Her brother invited me to join his fantasy football league. These people have known me for 2 years and treat me better than my family ever did. My career keeps getting better. Led a major system migration that saved the company $2 million annually. Got another raise, now making $310,000 base. Picked up some consulting work on the side that brings in another $60,000 yearly. Rachel's career is thriving too. She got promoted to senior data scientist and is now making $180,000. We bought a bigger house together last month. 5 bedrooms, nice yard, in a great neighborhood. Rachel wants kids in a few years, and I'm starting to think that sounds pretty good. Maybe I can be the dad I wish I'd had. Madison tried to reach out directly last week. Sent me a letter through the mail since I've blocked her everywhere else. It was 10 pages long, handwritten, full of apologies and explanations. The key points were, she's sorry for how everything happened. She didn't realize how hurt I was. She thought she was being neutral by maintaining friendships with both me and Vanessa. She never meant for the business to come between us. She's been in therapy and realizes now how messed up the family dynamics were. She wants to rebuild our relationship. It was probably the most self-aware thing she's ever written, but it also included requests. Could I write her a recommendation for grad school? She's applying to MBA programs. Could I connect her with anyone in my network who might be hiring? Could we meet for coffee to talk? I didn't respond to the letter, threw it away. Rachel found it in the trash and read it. She seems genuinely sorry, she said. Maybe she is, but sorry doesn't undo what she did. And asking for professional favors in an apology letter kind of undermines the apology. Fair point. What are you going to do? Nothing. I'm done doing things for people who only value me when they need something. The truth is, I don't miss them. I thought I would. Thought there'd be this huge hole where family used to be. But there isn't. My life is fuller and happier, without people who made me feel like shit for having self-respect. Some people say I went nuclear, that I should have just walked away instead of destroying their business. But here's what those people don't understand. I didn't destroy their business. I withdrew my investment per the contract they signed. They destroyed their business by immediately spending money they couldn't afford to lose. That's not on me, that's on them. YouTube just dropped this new hype feature. If you're hooked on this story, smash that hype button. It tells YouTube this video deserves to blow up, and it keeps even crazier stories coming your way.